our English service all together in our IM family. So next to you, you can see your family. We are family together, right? So please welcome your family, welcome brothers and welcome sisters together. Hey, you know, Philippine, my Philippine friends, you know that we have a new family here?
Really?
Over there, yellow shirt. It is Pastor Go. Pastor Go. Go and make disciples. That's why his family name is Go. Wow, right? So he's really good at recreation, the lead recreation, and good at fixing something, but he's not good at dancing. So do not ask, okay? He's not good at dancing or singing. Just do not ask for him to do something like dance or something, but he can lead the recreation time. So at that, you could invite him for the lunch. You will have a really great time. Anyway, please, Pastor Go, let's welcome our new family. Good. Okay, do you love Jesus?
Yes!
How much you love Jesus? How much? How can you express, or can you, how can I say, show your love to Jesus Christ? Suddenly quiet. I'm so awkward. This atmosphere is really awkward to me. It was really good to each other, but suddenly when I start to speak, you become silent. Wow, I have a great talent to make people silent. I'm a good teacher because I make people silent. I'm not sure, did they sleepy or I'm not sure they listen. Anyway, you love Jesus, right?
Yes!
And this is the season of Christmas and season of waiting for the new year. Oh my goodness. Today is 26th of December. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I will become 40. My 30s are gone. My 40 is coming. Anyway, so this season, we smile each other and we say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, right? No, I'm talking now. I'm talking. It's not your turn. It's my turn, please. You gotta respect me, okay? Anyway, so this time is kind of sharing time. Season of sharing, or a season of embracing, or a season of love. Right? So during this season in Christmas, we usually talk to each other. I love you. God loves you. Jesus loves you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. A new year in a new year. I hope that all the blessings are upon you from God. We bless each other, right?
Yeah.
A new year. So it's a season of love. A season of sharing. Today, I want to talk with you about what is love? What is true love? Can you define the love? Can you define the love? What is love? Patient. Okay. You really know very well about Corinthians chapter 13. That's right. Love is patient. Love is long suffering. Love is high. But I want to ask you, what is the definition of love? Definition of love. You know, it's really good habit. If you have this kinds of habit, it's really good. You know, you gotta try to define some, you know, some crucial or basic words in your life, like love, or life, or friends, or salvation. It's good to define, and then through the defining definition, you will be clear about your life when you define those kinds of words. So we gotta think deeply, what is love? It's easy. Love is patient, it's easy. Right? But is it easy to be patient actually in your life? No, not at all. Right? It's easy to speak. It's not easy to live. But without living, it's useless, right? And you say love is to be kind. It's easy to say. If you don't live, it's useless. The world is useless. So that's why it's important to define the world, the vocabulary is defined, the vocabulary, so that you can live the life. You can live the life of love. Or when you define the salvation, you gotta define very well, so that you can live the life of salvation, right? Anyway, the reason why I talk about love today, because today's title is love. But today, my preaching will be short, so that I can give you time, or by a group, I can give you time to share in English or in Korean. I don't know, it's up to you, it's up to your group. But anyway, today I will introduce one video clip, short video clip, maybe 4.5 minutes, I don't know, it's really short. The English video clip. And then we will talk about love, we will divide into group, team, and we will share, we will talk about love. So please, can you, open the video clip. Can you show us the video clip? First, we will watch the video clip, and then shortly I will explain about it, and we will divide it into two. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch. Sound, please.
For thousands of years, every morning and evening, Jewish people have prayed these moments.
Again, please. You know, I will become 40 soon. That's why my ear is not. You gotta respect 40 women, 40-year-old woman. Got it? I'm a lady old. Please, bigger sound. Cannot hear well.
Every morning.
Salamat. Okay. Well, okay. Go back again, and let's start again. Thank you.
For thousands of years, every morning and evening, Jewish people have prayed these well-known words as a way of expressing their devotion to God. They're called the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And as for you, you shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your strength. We're going to look at the third key word in this prayer, how Israel is called to love their God. But what does that mean? Love is a very common word in most languages, as it is in ancient Hebrew. It's pronounced ahava. It most basically refers to the kind of affection or care that one person shows another. It sometimes describes physical affection, like the king of Persia's love for Queen Esther. But there are other Hebrew words that more specifically refer to physical desire or sex. Ahava is more broad. So Abraham had ahava for his son Isaac, that's parental love. Jonathan showed ahava for his friend David, that would be brotherly love. In fact, a whole group of people can have ahava for their leader, like when the Israelites showed love for their king David. Ahava can even describe loyalty between political allies, like Hiram, the king of Tyre, loved David. They had good relations, and so Hiram wanted to help David's son Solomon build the temple. These are all different kinds of affection described with the one word, ahava. Now, all of this is helpful for understanding God's ahava in the Old Testament. So in Deuteronomy, Moses told the Israelites, God showed affection for you. He chose you because of his ahava for you. So God doesn't love because the Israelites earned it or deserve it. It simply originates from God's own character. He loves because he loves. This is why Jeremiah can say that God's love is everlasting. It has no end because it has no beginning. God's love just is an eternal fact of the universe. And God's love is not a duty. It's a genuine feeling, an affection that God experiences. This is why the prophet Hosea compares God's love for his people to a husband's ahava for his wife, or to a parent showing ahava for their child. It's one of the strongest things that God feels. But that doesn't mean that God's love is just a feeling. God's love is also an action. It's something God chooses to do. Like when Moses says, because of God's ahava for your ancestors, he brought you out of Egypt with great power. God's love isn't just a sentiment, it is something God does. And so, in the Shema, Israel is called to respond to God's ahava by showing ahava in return. And just like God's love, human love is to show itself through actions. Like in Deuteronomy 10, what does the Lord your God ask of you except to fear the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, to love him and serve him, and to keep his commands? All of these actions are centered around love. If I'm not doing them, I don't actually love God, I just say I do. Which leads to one last thing. In the Old Testament, I show my love for God by how I treat the people around me. In Deuteronomy, we read that God defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow, and he shows ahava for the immigrants among you, giving them food and clothing. And so you also show ahava for the immigrant. So the people are to imitate God's ahava by showing ahava for others. This is the idea underneath the famous line, you shall ahava your neighbor as yourself. And so at the end of the day, all of this is rooted in God's own eternal ahava. Like we read in the New Testament letter of 1 John, we love because God first loved us. And that's the Hebrew word, ahava.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, turn on the light. Do you think it's easy to understand this English? Is it okay for you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Wow, you're so smart because it's pretty fast, right? Fast, but the word is easy. The word is not that difficult. So that's why first we will go over this video one more time with me, and then we will be separated into groups. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, Judah, can you go back to the first part, and then let's watch again. Let's go over again. Okay, got it? Okay, please. Turn on.
For thousands of years, every morning and evening, Jewish people have prayed these well-known words as a way of expressing their devotion to God. They're called the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And as for you, you shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your strength.
Okay. You know this word, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 through 5? 신명기 6장 4절 5절 말씀. We call Shema. Can you follow me? Shema?
Shema.
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 Shema means hear, listen. Shema means hear or listen. Shema. So this word we call Shema. God said, Moses talked to Israel people, hear, O Israel. Shema. So, you know, actually, the Jews in the Old Testament, Jews, day and night, in the morning or in the evening, you know, when they pray, when they ask God, they recite this word. They speak this word in front of God. They always memorize this word, chapter 6, verse 4 through 5. So this word, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 through 5, is the backbone of the faith of Israelites. 이스라엘 사람들의 신앙의 중심이 되는 말씀이에요. 신명기 6장 4절에서 5절. 그래서 이스라엘 사람들은 매일 아침 저녁으로 이 말씀을 읽고 외우고 했어요. Let's read all together. Right? Can you read? It's too small. The room is too small. Okay. Next, maybe next week we can install the big screen here, and then it's a little better. But we don't have any. What's that? We don't have any tool to install the big monitor here, the big screen here. So maybe next week will be okay. But here today, even though you feel uncomfortable with the small screen, please endure this and just let's try to read together. Is ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And as for you, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all of your soul, and with all your strength. That is the backbone. That is the most important word, was important Bible verse in the Old Testament. 이것이 가장 구약에서 중요한 말씀이다라고 할 수가 있어요. But today we will focus on the word love. Can you see the word love there? Yes. Love, the third word love. Here, Lord, love, heart, soul, strength. Very important words there. But today we will focus on the word love. Okay, let's keep going.
We're going to look at the third key word in this prayer, how Israel is called to love their God. But what does that mean? Love is a very common word in most languages, as it is in ancient Hebrew. It's pronounced ahava.
Oh, okay. So in the Old Testament and the Hebrews, the word love is called ahava. Ahava is Hebrew word. In the Old Testament, Israel people use Hebrews, right? But in the New Testament, they use under the Roman Empire, they use Greeks, right? In the Old Testament, they use Hebrews. In the New Testament, they use Greeks. So in the New Testament was written with Greek word. But the Old Testament is written with Hebrew word. The Hebrew word love, ahava. But love in the New Testament, we translate the word ahava into. Do you know the love Greek word of love? What's that? Agape. Wow, smart. Very good, Laura. You are really smart. Hey, man. You are younger than her. What are you doing? Anyway, agape is Greek word. The Hebrew word love, ahava. Okay, so just before we read Deuteronomy, right? Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. So the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And as for you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. We read, right? And then we can say it in that way. You shall ahava the Lord your God. Ahava the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. So the word is love here, ahava, right? Ahava. Okay, let's go.
Love basically refers to the kind of affection or care that one person shows another.
Yes, so the ahava, the love means that just basically we use the word ahava or love as a affection or a care, right? Love. When we talk about the love, we feel that we define the word love as affection or a care for another, right? So when I stand on here on the stage, usually I talk to you. I force you to say I love you, right? So even though you don't love each other, you should say I love you because I force you to do it. Anyway, when you look at each other, can you say I love you? Anyway, now? No, now I can see. Now I can see that when you say I love you, if you really love the person next to you, you say I love you like that. But But most of you guys, your face looking that way. I love you. You don't look each other. You don't look at each other. I love you. Your eyes are there. I love you. Why? Maybe you don't feel affection from your next person. That's why, even though you say I love you, you don't feel love from the person next to you. So you feel love when you feel the affection or care from somebody, even your parents. Do you know that your parents love you?
Yes.
But sometimes you doubt. You don't think that your parents love you because you don't feel affection or care from your parents. Anyway, so here basically we can say that the love is affection or care. Okay, let's go.
Sometimes describes physical affection, like the king of Persia's love for Queen Esther. But there are other Hebrew words that more specifically refer to physical desire or sex. Ahava is more broad.
Okay, so in a way, also we can say we can use the love for the love between man and woman, right? Like physical love or sexual love. We can use the word love. Alright, so love is really common word. Love is used commonly in the world. Love. In Greece but in Greece is more, how can I say, complicated about love because they separate the kinds of love. So there is a love called agape, love called phileo, love called eros, or something like that. But anyway, nowadays we all call it love. That's why it's difficult to define what is a true love, what is a genuine love, what is the definition of love. So here, but ahava is more like a love between parents and kids, love between friends, love between those who have royalty or something like that. So in the Bible, about the physical love, about the sexual love, there are other words. So here ahava is used for more the more broad meaning. Okay, let's go.
So Abraham had ahava for his son Isaac. That's parental love.
Yes. So first, what kinds of love we can see? Parental love. 부모의 사랑. Parental love. So I love my son Joseph. Do you know I love you? How can you know I love you? Justin? Just you know I love you? Why? Because your mom is beautiful? No, you don't know? Anyway, you can feel that I love you? Oh, thank you. Today, after the dinner, I went to my house, my room, and there was my son, my last son, who? Faith. Okay. My son Faith was there. And the face was sitting there, and he looked at me. I brush my hair, and look at the mirror, and then he talked to me, mommy, you are pretty. You and teacher Deborah is pretty. I asked why. You draw. When you draw, you're pretty. Oh well, okay. You and teacher Deborah draw, you're pretty. Hey, Faith, my son. When your mommy draw, your mommy become pretty? Thank you. I love you. You know that I love you? Oh, okay, I love you so much. So there is a parental love and more.
Showed ahava for his friend David. That would be brotherly love.
Okay, that love, brotherly love. Do you know David and Jonathan? They were really good friends and some kinds of brotherly love. Do you have brotherhood here? Sisterhood or brotherhood? Do you have a brotherly love? No? Making. ING. You are making love for your brother. Now you are generating love for your brother. Oh man. He avoid you? He avoids you? Just say sorry every day. Okay, good. So it's kinds of brotherly love, and
A whole group of people can have ahava for their leader, like when the Israelites showed love for their King David.
okay, and that's also ahava. The Israel people show love to King David. I love you, King David. That's also kinds of ahava, and then
And even describe loyalty between political allies, like Hiram, the king of Tyre, loved David. They had good relations, and so Hiram wanted to help David's son Solomon build the temple. These are all.
It's also kinds of even though they have some kinds of business relationship, kinds of allies, allies, 동맹, allies, kinds of allies, and between the allies also we can have love, ahava. Tyre's king Hiram, he helped Solomon. Why? Because he loved David before. Okay, more.
Kinds of affection described with the one word, ahava. Now all of this is helpful for understanding God's ahava in the Old Testament.
Okay, so in the Old Testament we can see various kinds of ahava, many kinds of ahava, right? I love my kids. I ahava Joseph. I ahava Joseph. Okay? And Sehan, you ahava your brother. You ahava. Sehan ahava seyo, brotherly love. Or you ahava me, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. 지영아 고마워. 지영아, I ahava you. Ahava me, I ahava you. We have ahava, but all these kinds of ahava, these kinds of love can manifest God's ahava. Through these kinds of things, we can see how God ahava us. 이런 예들을 통해서 부모의 사랑이나 친구의 사랑이나 이런 충성된 사랑들을 통해서 하나님의 사랑은 어떨까를 유추해 볼 수 있어요. 하나님의 사랑은 어떨까? Let's keep going on.
In Deuteronomy, Moses told the Israelites, God showed affection for you. He chose you because of his ahava for you. So,
Okay, Israel people, Deuteronomy chapter 7, Moses talked to Israel people that God show affection to you. God call you. God save you. Why? Because God ahava you. God ahava you. That's why God call you. Okay? Keep going
God
on.
doesn't love because the Israelites earned it or deserve it. It simply originates from God's own character. He loves because he loves.
Okay, but the Bible says that God does not ahava them because of their own ability. God did not ahava them because of their talent or because of their dedication or because of their offering. God did not ahava them because of themselves. God ahava them because God is ahava. Got it? God loved Israelites because God is ahava. God ahava them because God is ahava. That's the principle of God's love. Okay, keep going on.
Why Jeremiah can say that God's love is everlasting. It has no end because it has no beginning. God's love just is an eternal fact of the universe.
Okay, Can you see? That's why God's ahava is eternal. Why? Because it's not a kind of how can I say? Okay, yeah, Sue, my daughter, Sue is kind to me. That's why I have a Sue. No. Sue is my daughter, right? So before she was born, I have her. Before she was born, when she was in my womb, I couldn't see her face. I couldn't imagine her face. I couldn't imagine how tall would she be. I couldn't imagine how long her hand, how long her arm can be. I couldn't imagine at the time. I couldn't see her. She was just, when I went to, when I went to clinic hospital, I was there. There, I watched ultrasound. Ultrasound. I did ultrasound here, and then there was a small, tiny, small, how can I say, bean. In my womb, there was a bean, very small bean. No nose, no eye, no arm, no leg. But you know what? I have her. I have Sue. I love her. Why? Because love is essential feeling. Love. Sayor, you try to make him love? Love. Essential feeling that from God is from God. God has ahava from the beginning. God is ahava from the beginning. So love is eternal. Love is everlasting. Yeah, right? Okay, let's keep going on.
God's love is not a duty, it's a genuine feeling, an affection that God experiences.
Yes. So we cannot say, I try to love. I try to love. God does not say, I try to love. Just God say, I love. Because He is love. God's love. God's ahava is not duty. God's ahava is not duty or assignment or homework. God's ahava is not homework. You have a homework, right? You have a homework every day in your planner. You have a homework that today I will talk to my team member, I love you 5 times. It can be your homework. But God's ahava is not that kind of assignment. It's not homework. It's not a duty. It's just a feeling and affection inside of Him. He's born. He's being. Okay, let's keep going on.
And the prophet Hosea compares God's love for His people to a husband's ahava for his wife, or to a parent showing ahava for their child. It's one of the strongest things that God feels.
Yes. So through the parent's love, through the husband love, through the wife love, we can see ahava, the example of ahava. Let's go.
Doesn't mean that God's love is just a feeling. God's love is also an action.
Okay, but the ahava does not stop just as a feeling. God's ahava moved to action. Right? I told that I have a Sue. I have. Before she was born, I have a Sue. But after she was born, what did I do? I woke up at night every 2 hours to feed her. I should feed her. So every 2 hours I woke up at night. You mothers, you know well, right? Mothers. You know well, Lina? You know well about it? You too? who you saw before, the people around you. Anyway, no, you don't know well. You ask your mother. How about you? Enoch, right? Your name is Enoch. English name is. Ask your mother. Now you are really big, right? Because your mother tried to feed you a lot. Why John is big now? John, look at me. Why you are big now? Why your head big now? Why? Because you got up. You woke up every 2 hours at night. You cry, Mommy, I'm hungry. But you didn't say it that way. Because you just cried, oh, my son, you're hungry? I ran to my son. I fed my son. I ahava him. Just ahava. It's not just feeling. My son is crying. My daughter is crying there. Oh, daughter, I feel love you. I feel I'm loving you. She's crying. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, even though you cry, I love you. I feel. You gotta know, I love you because I feel. What should I do? I love you. That's why I should feed her. I should feed him. What was the second word that my son John learned? The second word that my son John learned, the first word was 엄마. Yeah, automatically 엄마. 엄마 was first word that he could speak before. The second word, 냉장고. Really? Just 냉장고. Always, he stand in front of 냉장고. Really cute. He was really cute. So it was really cute. He was standing in front of 냉장고, refrigerator, 냉장고. So he was standing in front of 냉장고, and he said 냉장고. And then here, oh my son, you are so cute. I feel I love you. I feel I love you. That's all? That's ahava? No. I feel I love him, so I should fill the refrigerator. Right? I feel, F-E-E-L, so I should fill the refrigerator, F-I-L-L. Right? If I feel love, I should fill the refrigerator with food. Bread. Or, he especially like meat, chicken, or pork, or something like that. Do not deny John. Do not deny John. You deny now. No, you deny. You feel shame. Sorry, John. Sorry. I feel sorry that I am talking about you. It was really good story, fun story. Anyway, let's keep going on.
But chooses to do. Like when Moses says, because of God's ahava for your ancestors, he brought you out of Egypt with great power.
Okay, because of the ahava for your ancestor, he brought you out of Egypt with great power. Why God saved Israel people from Egypt? Why God saved His people from Egypt? Because he ahava Abraham. He ahava Abraham 400 years ago. That's why 400 years later, the descendants of descendants of Abraham, the Israelites, they were saved. What does it mean? God ahava Abraham. That's why God moved to save Israel people. So love, ahava, is connected to action. Okay, let's go.
Love isn't just a sentiment, it is something God does. And so, in the Shema, Israel is called to respond to God's ahava by showing ahava in return.
Okay, so God show ahava us, right? God show His ahava to us. But the Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4 said, ahava your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. What does it mean? God ahava us with His action. You ahava God with your feeling or with your action. Let's keep going on.
Just like God's love, human love is to show itself through actions. Like in Deuteronomy 10, what does the Lord your God ask of you except to fear the Lord your God, to walk in His ways, to love Him and serve Him, and to keep His commands?
Okay, fear, walk, serve, keep, it's all about love. If you ahava God, you fear God, you walk, you serve, you keep. Let's keep going on.
All of these actions are centered around love. If I'm not doing them, I don't actually love God, I just say I do. Which leads to one last thing. In the Old Testament, I show my love for God by how I treat the people around me. In Deuteronomy...
Okay, so in the Old Testament, if you say you love in the Old Testament, 구약에서, if you say you ahava God, and then you show ahava to other people. 구약에서 여러분이 하나님을 사랑한다라고 고백한다는 것은 여러분이 그 사랑을 행동으로 여러분의 주변 사람들한테 보여준다라는 것과 같다는 거예요. Let's go.
That God defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow, and He shows ahava for the immigrants among you.
So in the Old Testament, God showed His ahava to the fatherless, 고아들, to the widow, 과부, to the immigrants, 이민자들, 외부 이방인들, 이스라엘에 들어온 이방인들이나 또 고아들이나 과부들을 하나님께서 이스라엘 백성들이 너희가 그들을 뭐하지 말아라, 그들을 모른 채 하지 말아라, 그들을 돌봐라, 그들을 도와라. Why? That's the action of ahava. Let's go.
Food and clothing, and so you also show ahava for the immigrant. So the people are to imitate God's ahava by showing ahava for others. This is the idea.
So people imitate. What is imitate? 모방하다, 닮다, 따라하다. So people should imitate God's ahava. How? By showing ahava for others. Can you get it? God, think about God's ahava. God ahava you. That's why God saved you. God lead you. I gave you example. If I say ahava Joseph, but I don't give him food, really I ahava Joseph? If I ahava Sue, but I don't buy any clothes for her, I don't provide any money or anything for her, I ahava you? No. So that's the God's ahava. God ahava. God is ahava, right? God is ahava. Ahava is His nature, His character. God is ahava, but the ahava is displayed. Ahava is shown. So if we imitate God's ahava, what does it mean? It's not just a feeling, I love you. It's not just a feeling that I have a compassion on you. It's an action like God. It's action. If you ahava me, when I preach, you say, Amen. That's right. If you ahava each other, when next person says something, you smile at him or her. Ahava, God's ahava. If we resemble God's ahava, we do something. Okay, let's go.
Underneath the famous line, you shall ahava your neighbor as yourself. And so at the end of the day, all of this is rooted in God's own eternal ahava. Like we read in the New Testament letter of 1 John, we love because God first loved us.
Okay, that's all. So, the Bible said, you love your neighbor as yourself, right? You love your neighbor as yourself. That means that you ahava your neighbor as yourself. Why? Because that's God's ahava. Loving people is not a duty. Loving people is not an assignment. That's nature of God. That's nature of God's ahava. God ahava us. That's why God saved us. If we know the God's ahava, we ahava people. It means that we help people. We lead people. We ahava people. Because we love, because God first loved us. Jesus is in us. Jesus is within us. What does it mean? Jesus is ahava. So if Jesus is within us, that means ahava is in us. Ahava is within us. So if we have ahava, we ahava each other. We ahava the person next to us. So let's confess to each other. I ahava you. I ahava you. So maybe when campers come, you could talk to campers. Hi campers, I'm waiting for you. I ahava you. What? That would say, what? I ahava you. What is ahava? You don't know ahava? Okay, sit down. I will let you know. Ahava you. So in IM, it's a love. It's a love. It has several description, right? But here, I wanted to use the word ahava here in our community. Ahava, God's ahava, the nature and the action. So this time we will divide.